The treacherous seas have long been the graveyard of countless ships, their hulls shattered by unforgiving waves and jagged rocks. But amidst this watery chaos, lighthouses have stood as beacons of hope, guiding sailors through the darkest nights. Yet, some of these structures were erected in places so perilous, so merciless, that they have become legends in their own right. Brace yourself for a journey into the heart of nature's fury, where human ingenuity triumphed over the elements. Here are 15 scary lighthouses built in perilous places. Number 15. Execution Rocks Lighthouse. In the turbulent waters of Long Island Sound, where the boundaries of New Rochelle and Sands Point converge, stands the stark white figure of Execution Rocks Lighthouse. Rising 55 feet above a notorious stretch of water, this lighthouse has a chilling history interwoven with tales of tragedy and lore. The name, Execution Rocks, is itself a subject of dark speculation. One legend, recorded in 1974 by Robert Caro, tells of colonial settlers who meted out brutal justice by chaining enslaved people to the rocks at low tide, leaving them to the merciless rise of the waters. A historical account from 1964 suggests a grim practice where murderers were similarly chained to meet their fate. However, it's more widely accepted that the name originated from the British Admiralty, who called it Executioner's Rocks, owing to the perilous rocks that claimed numerous ships. The lighthouse, designed by Alexander Paris, came to be through a congressional appropriation of $25,000 on March 3, 1847, and was completed 2 years later. Despite its grim name, the tower was built to save lives, casting its light for the first time in 1850 to guide mariners safely around the dangerous rocks. Over the decades, Execution Rocks Lighthouse has withstood the elements, including surviving a fire and a shipwreck. Automated in 1979, the once inhabited keeper's house now stands empty, a silent witness to the lighthouse's storied past. Perhaps the most gruesome chapter associated with the lighthouse is the claim by Karl Panzram, a convicted murderer, who in his posthumous autobiography confessed to the rape and murder of 10 sailors in the summer of 1920, disposing of their bodies near the lighthouse. Whether fact or fiction, this tale adds a macabre layer to the already eerie history of Execution Rocks. Today, while off-limits to the public, the lighthouse can be viewed from afar during the Long Island Lighthouse Society's Spring Cold Coast Cruise or glimpsed from the Throgs Neck Bridge. Number 14. Fastnet Rock Lighthouse. In the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, off the southernmost point of Ireland, the formidable Fastnet Rock Lighthouse stands as a sentinel on one of the smallest yet most crucial rock islands. Known affectionately as the Teardrop of Ireland, Fastnet Lighthouse marks the last sight of Ireland for ships bound for America, and it's here where the dramatic interplay of human ingenuity and nature's might is showcased. Fastnet Rock, a remote and perilous location, hosts Ireland's tallest lighthouse, towering 177 feet above the waves. The current structure, the second on this site, was a monumental undertaking that began in 1897 under the supervision of engineer William Douglas. His vision was to replace the old cast iron lighthouse, deemed insufficient after numerous shipwrecks in the area, most notably the tragic loss of the SS Drummond Castle in 1896, which killed 242 people. Building Fastnet was no small feat. The new lighthouse was constructed from 2,047 dovetailed blocks of Cornish granite, each weighing up to 3 tons. These stones were meticulously laid on a precisely leveled site, forming a tower 146 feet high, with its light beaming from 159 feet above the high water mark. The enormity of this task was underscored by the use of the specially constructed steamship, the Erne, to transport these massive granite blocks to the rock. The completion of the lighthouse in 1904, after 7 grueling years, marked a significant advancement in lighthouse engineering. It cost nearly £90,000, a staggering sum at the time. Designed to withstand the brutal forces of the Atlantic, Fastnet Lighthouse is built directly into the rock. Its base alone measures 52 feet in diameter. The lighthouse's light flashes every 5 seconds, a white beam that reaches 27 nautical miles into the ocean, guiding mariners safely past the perilous Irish coastline. The original explosive fog signal, installed in 1883 and later replaced with an electric foghorn, echoed through the mist to further aid ships during foggy conditions. However, this was permanently decommissioned in 2011. Fastnet's story is also one of survival against immense natural forces. It withstood a rogue wave estimated at 157 feet high in 1985 and braved winds up to 119 miles per hour during Hurricane Ophelia in 2017, the highest ever recorded in Ireland. Number 13. Flannan Isles Lighthouse. On the edge of the world, where the North Sea clashes with the rocky shores of the Flannan Isles, stands a lighthouse that is as enigmatic as it is crucial. Built between 1895 and 1899, the Flannan Isles Lighthouse rises 75 feet high on a sheer cliff exposed to the relentless battering of the ocean. This location, known for its furious storms and perilous waters, has been the site of countless maritime tragedies, prompting the construction of this life-saving beacon. The isolation of the Flannan Isles, lying 11 miles off the coast of Angus, Scotland, made constructing and maintaining the lighthouse an exercise in daring and ingenuity. All materials had to be hauled up the 45-meter cliffs from supply boats, a logistical nightmare compounded by the island's inhospitable weather. The lighthouse itself, a stoic structure designed by David Allen Stevenson, cost what would now be hundreds of thousands of dollars to build. The cost included not just the tower, but also the landing places, stairs, and railway tracks that were essential for transporting supplies and fuel up the steep gradients. This railway, crucial for the operation of the lighthouse, was a feat of engineering designed to endure the harsh conditions. Supplies, including 20 barrels of paraffin a year required for the light, were transported via a cable-hauled system powered by a small steam engine, a necessity in an environment where every delivery could be the difference between life and death. The lighthouse first cast its beam on December 7, 1899, a guiding light visible from 35 miles away, cutting through the fog and darkness that make these waters among the most treacherous in the world. Yet, it is not just the challenging conditions that make the Flannan Isles Lighthouse stand out. It is also shrouded in mystery. The most chilling chapter in the lighthouse's history occurred in December 1900, just a year after it became operational. The 3 keepers of the lighthouse vanished without a trace, leaving behind a scene that suggested a sudden and dramatic departure. No conclusive explanation has ever been provided for their disappearance, and the mystery continues to fuel legends and ghost stories. Number 12. Eddystone Lighthouse. Located off the rugged coast of Cornwall, England, atop the treacherous Eddystone rocks, stands the Eddystone Lighthouse, a beacon that has withstood the violent whims of the sea. The rocks, submerged below the surface and composed of ancient Precambrian gneiss, lie 9 miles south of Rame Head and have been the bane of mariners for centuries. The current Eddystone Lighthouse is the 4th incarnation on this spot, each structure telling a story of innovation, disaster, and resilience. The first, built by Henry Winstanley in 1698, was the world's first lighthouse constructed in the open ocean, marking a monumental step in maritime navigation. Winstanley's octagonal wooden design was groundbreaking, but it met a dramatic end during the Great Storm of 1703, which swept it away entirely, claiming the lives of Winstanley and 5 others. This disaster led to the construction of John Rudyard's lighthouse in 1709. Rudyard opted for a conical design, combining timber and stone to improve resilience. His structure stood for nearly 50 years before succumbing to a catastrophic fire in 1755, ignited by a spark that melted the lantern's lead roof, tragically resulting in the death of the keeper, Henry Hall, who swallowed molten lead during the blaze. Following Rudyard's lighthouse, John Smeaton designed the third structure, completed in 1759. Smeaton revolutionized lighthouse construction by using hydraulic lime, a form of concrete that would set underwater, ensuring the tower's durability. His lighthouse resembled the shape of an oak tree trunk, cleverly designed to dissipate the force of the waves. Smeaton's design was so successful that portions of this lighthouse were re-erected on Plymouth Hoe as a monument after it was replaced. The fourth and current lighthouse, completed in 1882, was designed by Sir James Douglas using Smeaton's developments. It integrated dovetailed granite blocks, enhancing the strength and stability needed to withstand the relentless sea. This final structure has stood the test of time. It was fully automated in 1982 and continues to guide ships safely past the perilous Eddystone rocks. Number 11. Bishop Rock Lighthouse. Amid the wild and tumultuous waters of the Atlantic, where the Isles of Scilly lurk as an unseen threat to mariners, stands the Bishop Rock Lighthouse. This beacon of safety is perched on a sheer cliff that rises from a depth of 148 feet, surrounded by waters that have claimed many ships, including a disastrous loss in 1707 that took 2,000 lives. Recognizing the perils posed by this region, the elder brethren of Trinity House resolved to build a lighthouse on this formidable rock after realizing the old St. Agnes Lighthouse was insufficient. Initially, in 1847, the ambitious design chosen was a screw-pile lighthouse, intended to withstand the brutal Atlantic with a cost of £12,000. This innovative design featured cast-iron legs, intended to let ocean waves roll between them rather than crashing into a solid structure. However, before it could be completed, a fierce gale in February 1850 obliterated the structure, underscoring the ferocity of the site. Undeterred, James Walker, the consultant engineer, pivoted back to the tried-and-true solid granite design inspired by Smeaton's Eddystone Tower. The new design called for a base 10 meters in diameter, with each granite block weighing between 1 and 2 tons. These were intricately dovetailed and keyed into place, forming an unyielding mass against the relentless sea. The construction required extraordinary efforts. Granite was shaped and numbered on the mainland before being transported to the rock. Over 7 years, with the workers housed on a nearby islet, the 35-meter-tall tower gradually took shape, costing £34,560 and containing 2,500 tons of dressed granite. The lighthouse first shone its light on September 1, 1858. Its resilience was soon tested by storms that were powerful enough to rip a 550-pound fog bell from its fastenings. By 1881, the tower showed signs of wear and damage, prompting Sir James Douglas to propose an extensive reinforcement. This involved constructing a new lighthouse around the old one and enlarging the foundation with heavy granite blocks. The new design also increased the light's elevation by 12 meters. An additional 3,200 tons of granite were added, bringing the total weight to 5,700 tons. The renovation, completed in October 1887, cost £66,000. In 1991, Bishop Rock was automated, marking the end of an era with the departure of its last keepers in December 1992. Though its fog signal was discontinued in 2007, the lighthouse remains a crucial navigational aid, now monitored from Trinity House's Planning Centre in Harwich, Essex. Number 10. Tes Lighthouse. Off the rugged coast of Andros, Greece, rises the Tes Lighthouse, an iconic beacon perched precariously on a solitary rock in the sea. This striking structure, built in 1887 and operational by January 1, 1897, is not just a navigational aid, but a symbol of resilience and adaptation. The Sur Lighthouse stands 7 meters tall, with its light-casting beams up to 11 nautical miles away. What makes this lighthouse particularly noteworthy is its location. Constructed directly on a craggy rock formation, it is the only lighthouse in Europe to boast such a distinctive and challenging foundation. This position at the entrance of the port of Cora, opposite the Venetian castle, underscores its historical and strategic importance. The original structure was demolished by German bombardments in September 1943 during the throes of the Second World War, highlighting the lighthouse's vulnerability and pivotal role. Yet its story didn't end with its destruction. In 1996, the Goulandries family funded its meticulous reconstruction, using stones sourced from northern Epirus to preserve its original aesthetic and durability. Today, Sur Lighthouse is more than a functional lighthouse. It has become a cultural icon, immortalized on a series of stamps by the Greek post office titled Lighthouses of Greece. Its singular design and the technological advancements it originally housed, such as being the first automatic lighthouse in Greece, set it apart. These features ensured its operation without the need for constant human oversight, a revolutionary concept at the time of its construction. The waters around Sur are not only known for their scenic beauty, but also for their peril. On the Aegean Sea, a historic maritime crossroads has been the site of numerous shipwrecks, including the HMHS Britannic, the sister ship of the infamous RMS Titanic. The Britannic met its fate not far from Andros after striking a mine in 1916 during its service as a hospital ship in World War I. Number 9. Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. Welcome to the treacherous shores of North Carolina, where the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse guards the infamous graveyard of the Atlantic. This striking black and white spiraled tower isn't just a picturesque landmark. It's a vital sentinel against one of the most dangerous stretches of water in the world. Rising an impressive 193 feet, Cape Hatteras. Lighthouse is the tallest brick lighthouse in the United States, but its size is a necessity rather than a luxury, given the perilous environment it oversees. This area is a notorious hotspot for hurricanes, nor'easters, and the collision of currents from the Gulf Stream and the Virginia Drift, which conspire to create a maritime hazard zone like no other. Established in 1870, the lighthouse was built to signal the shifting sandbars and shallow waters that have ensnared over 600 ships since records began. The waters here are so treacherous that they've sculpted an underwater cemetery of sunken ships, making it a critical point for a lighthouse. In 1999, in a remarkable feat of engineering, the lighthouse was moved nearly 3,000 feet inland. This monumental relocation was necessary to prevent it from succumbing to the encroaching sea, a fate that would have silenced its vital beacon. Now standing firm on safer ground, the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse continues to cast its light over 30 miles out to sea, guiding mariners away from the perilous waters that once threatened to engulf it. Number 8. Cape Bogeador Lighthouse. Perched atop Vigia de Nagpartian Hill, the Cape Bogeador Lighthouse, often referred to as Burgos Lighthouse, casts its beacon over the treacherous waters of the West Philippine Sea. Established during the Spanish colonial period and first illuminated on March 30, 1892, this lighthouse has been a sentinel for ships navigating into the Philippine archipelago from the north, guiding them safely past the rocky coast of Ilocos Norte. The lighthouse stands as a proud testament to the rich maritime history of the Philippines, marking the northwesternmost point of Luzon. Although not the tallest, at 66 feet, it is the highest elevated Spanish-era lighthouse still in operation in the country, offering spectacular views that can reach as far as the towns of Pasuquin and Bangui on clear days. The design of Cape Bogeador Lighthouse reflects the architectural style of its time, with its octagonal stone tower made from locally produced bricks. Crowned with a bronze cupola and surrounded by an ornate iron grillwork, the lighthouse was part of a grander scheme initiated in 1857 called the Plan General de Alumbrado de Marítimo de las Costas del Archipélago de Filipino. This plan, set by Spain's Corps of Engineers, aimed to illuminate the archipelago to ensure the safety of maritime traffic. Originally equipped with a first-order Fresnel lens, the lighthouse's light mechanism was critically damaged during the intense Luzon earthquake of 1990. This led to the displacement of the lens and misalignment of the lighting apparatus, rendering the original system inoperable. Since then, the lighthouse has been updated with a modern electric lamp powered by solar panels, although remnants of its old pressurized kerosene lamp still linger in the shed, connecting the past with the present. The lighthouse, which is still operational, was declared a National Historical Landmark on August 13, 2004, and a National Cultural Treasure on June 20, 2005. Number 7. Peggys Point Lighthouse. Located within the quaint fishing village of Peggys Cove in Nova Scotia, the Peggys Point Lighthouse is an active beacon and one of Canada's most iconic images. Officially known as the Peggys Point Lighthouse, it stands on a vast expanse of solid granite at the village's southern tip, marking the eastern entrance to St. Margaret's Bay. This lighthouse, erected in 1914, is a quintessential example of early 20th century maritime navigation aids, replacing the original 1868 wooden lighthouse. That first structure featured a kerosene lamp magnified by a catoptric reflector, casting a red beacon to guide mariners. The current lighthouse maintains the historic octagonal design, but is crafted from reinforced concrete to endure the punishing Atlantic weather. Towering nearly 15 meters high, Peggys Point Lighthouse is renowned as one of the most photographed landmarks in Atlantic Canada and serves as a prime attraction along the scenic Lighthouse Trail. Its picturesque setting draws countless visitors yearly who can explore the surrounding granite outcrops. However, the beauty of this location comes with risks. The area is known for its unpredictable surf, and despite numerous warning signs, there have been incidents where visitors were swept away by sudden waves, some tragically resulting in drowning. The lighthouse's light has evolved over the years, automated in 1958, and undergoing several changes in color from white to green and finally back to red in 2007, aligning with international standards. The lighthouse also housed a Canada post office until 2009, where visitors could send postcards with a special lighthouse stamp, until mold issues led to its closure. In 2010, the Canadian Coast Guard declared Peggys Point Lighthouse surplus, risking its future unless preserved under the Heritage Lighthouse Protection Act. While it was not initially listed in 2015 for preservation, the community and historical advocates have voiced strong support for its maintenance as a national treasure. Number 6. Tillamook Rock Lighthouse. Nestled more than a mile off the rugged shores of Oregon's north coast, Tillamook Rock Lighthouse, affectionately dubbed Terrible Tilly, epitomizes the sheer will and perilous efforts of lighthouse construction. Perched atop a sea stack of basalt, its story is one of tragedy, survival, and the relentless forces of nature. The saga of Tillamook Rock Lighthouse began in 1878, when Congress appropriated $50,000 to construct a beacon on Tillamook Head. However, surveys revealed that the 1,000 feet height of the headland would cause the light to be frequently shrouded in fog. Thus, the more exposed and treacherous Tillamook Rock was chosen, a decision marked by immediate danger when a master mason, John Trewavas, was swept to his death by the turbulent sea during a preliminary survey. Despite such ominous beginnings, construction proceeded under the supervision of Charles A. Ballantyne. Workers faced grueling conditions as the rock needed extensive blasting to create a level foundation. Accessing the site was perilous, relying on a breeches buoy slung from a derrick for the transfer of men and materials. Over 500 days of labor amidst relentless storms eventually saw the completion of the lighthouse in 1881. at a staggering cost of $125,000, making it the most expensive lighthouse built on the West Coast at that time. Tragedy struck even before the lighthouse could serve its purpose. In early January 1881, the Barque Lupatia vanished in thick fog near the rock. The following morning, the bodies of all 16 crew members were discovered on the shore. The ship's dog, remarkably, survived. This catastrophic event underscored the critical need for the lighthouse, which finally lit its first-order Fresnel lens on January 21, 1881. Life at terrible Tilly was isolating and brutal. The lighthouse earned its nickname due to the formidable storms that frequently lashed the tower, sometimes damaging the structure, and even once sweeping away the lantern room's Fresnel lens in a 1934 storm that brought winds of 109 miles per hour. The lighthouse was decommissioned in 1957, replaced by a Whistler buoy. Since then, Tillamook Rock has changed hands multiple times, briefly serving as a columbarium. Feast your ease on this snapshot, a lighthouse besieged by the wrath of the ocean, standing defiant as colossal waves thunder against its stout walls. This isn't just a lighthouse, it's a survivor, an unwavering beacon amidst the chaos of nature's might. This lone structure appears to be holding its ground on the brink of annihilation, encapsulating the fearsome beauty of our planet's most perilous places. But what's the tale behind this tower? Who keeps the light burning against such odds? Is this the daily battle faced by the keeper? Or is this a rare glimpse of nature's fury unleashed? Share your theories in the comment section below. Number 5. The Bellrock Lighthouse. Rising from the perilous waters of the North Sea, the Bellrock Lighthouse is not just a beacon of safety, it's a marvel of engineering situated on one of the most dangerous rock reefs known to sailors. Located 11 miles off the coast of Angus, Scotland, this historic structure holds the title of the world's oldest surviving sea-washed lighthouse, operational since its completion in 1810. The need for a lighthouse at Bellrock was dire. The reef had claimed countless ships, most notably intensifying after the tragic loss of the HMS York in 1804, where all hands perished. This disaster galvanized the construction efforts led by Scottish engineer Robert Stephenson, despite initial concerns about the feasibility and immense cost. Employing groundbreaking techniques, the lighthouse's construction began in 1807 and was an epic feat of persistence and bravery, set against the relentless fury of the sea. Constructed on the tiny outcrop of Bellrock, which is submerged under 12 feet of water at high tide, the work could only be carried out during brief periods of low tide. Stephenson's team, numbering 60 men, including a resident blacksmith, first built a beacon house to serve as their temporary barracks, anchoring their presence on the rock. The logistics were daunting. Materials and men were ferried to the rock, facing the constant threat of storms and surges that could obliterate weeks of progress in mere hours. The lighthouse stands 35 meters tall, crafted meticulously from interlocking blocks of stone that have withstood 2 centuries of North Sea storms without any need for replacement. This impressive structure was completed in 1811 and originally featured a light visible for 35 miles, achieved through a combination of highly polished reflectors and argand lamps. Automation came to Bellrock Lighthouse on the 24th of October, 1988, marking the end of an era where keepers braved the isolation and storms to ensure the light never failed. Today, the Northern Lighthouse Board remotely monitors the beacon from their headquarters in Edinburgh. Number 4. La Jument Lighthouse. In the treacherous waters off the coast of Brittany, France, stands La Jument Lighthouse. Perched on a rock just 300 meters from the island of Ushant, this lighthouse serves as a crucial guide through one of the most hazardous maritime routes in Europe. Its construction began in 1904 and was completed in 1911, driven by the tragic wreck of the SS Drummond Castle in 1896, which claimed 242 lives. La Joumont's location on a small rock exposed to the full fury of the Atlantic makes it one of the most challenging and dangerous lighthouse postings. The area is notorious for violent storms that have historically led to numerous shipwrecks. In fact, from 1888 to 1904, 31 ships were wrecked in its vicinity, emphasizing the need for a strong maritime beacon. The lighthouse gained widespread fame through a dramatic event in December 1989. Photographer Jean Guichard captured a series of photographs during a massive storm. One particular image became iconic. It showed the lighthouse keeper Theodore Malgorn briefly standing in the doorway as a giant wave engulfed the structure. Malgorn, realizing the imminent danger, quickly retreated inside, narrowly escaping harm. This photo not only highlighted the lighthouse's perilous situation, but also earned Guichard second place in the 1991 World Press Photo Award. Despite the automation of La Joumont in 1991, which marked the end of manned operations, the lighthouse continues to function as an essential navigation aid. Number 3. Stroinski Lighthouse. Nestled on the precipitous edges of Lake Ladoga in Leningrad Oblast, Russia, stands the formidable Stroinski Lighthouse, also known as Storozhno Light. This beacon of navigation isn't just any lighthouse. It is an epitome of human ingenuity and resilience, constructed to endure the challenging conditions of one of Europe's largest lakes. Rising to an impressive height of 233 feet or 71 meters, Stroinski Lighthouse holds the title of the 7th tallest traditional lighthouse globally, and it is the 4th tallest stone lighthouse. This monumental structure serves a critical function, situated on a headland that demarcates the Svir Bay from the Volkhov Bay of Lake Ladoga. The location is strategic, overseeing the eastern side of the lake and guiding vessels through the treacherous waters that have been historically notorious for their unpredictability. What makes the Stroinski Lighthouse particularly intriguing is its design and construction. It is a twin of the slightly shorter Osinovetsky Light, featuring a robust stone structure that not only withstands the severe weather conditions of the region, but also the test of time. Access to the Stroinski Lighthouse is a journey into the rugged beauty of Lake Ladoga's landscapes. While the site is accessible, visits to the tower itself are arranged by appointment, offering a unique opportunity for enthusiasts to explore one of the world's tallest lighthouses up close. The keeper's role is not just to maintain the lighthouse, but to preserve this piece of maritime history. In a region where the weather can shift from tranquil to tempestuous, the Stroinski Lighthouse stands resilient, its light a constant sentinel over the vast expanses of Lake Ladoga, guiding mariners away from the lurking dangers of the lake's treacherous waters. Number 2. Point Sur Lighthouse. High above the swirling waters of the Pacific, the Point Sur Lighthouse stands on a volcanic rock, 361 feet tall at the head of California's rugged coastline. Since 1889, this beacon has been vital for navigating the treacherous waters 24.6 miles south of Monterey, where the fog often shrouds the rocky shores in mystery and danger. Construction of the Point Sur Lighthouse was a monumental undertaking initiated after repeated shipwrecks highlighted the need for a navigational aid. The most notable disaster, the sinking of the SS Drummond Castle in 1896, with a loss of 242 lives, spurred the United States Lighthouse Service to action. By 1889, after enduring the logistical nightmares of building on such an inaccessible outpost, the lighthouse began its watch over the Big Sur coast. The structure itself, though only 40 feet in height, sits atop the massive rock, elevating its light 270 feet above sea level. Its first-order Fresnel lens, towering over 6 feet in diameter and 9 feet tall, casts a beam that reaches 23 miles across the ocean. This impressive lens consists of 16 panels of prisms, meticulously crafted to project light far beyond the rocky hazards that lurk beneath the waves. Point Sur's beacon was originally powered by a variety of oils, including whale oil and kerosene, until electricity reached this remote location in the 1950s. The lighthouse also features a formidable foghorn system, critical for piercing the dense fog that frequently envelops the area. Initially powered by coal and later by steam, the foghorn's mournful cry warns ships of the impending shoreline when the lighthouse's beam is swallowed by the mist. The lighthouse keepers and their families braved extreme isolation, living and working in a small, self-sufficient community perched on the rocky outpost. Life here was dictated by the rhythms of the sea and the necessities of maintaining the light. Supplies were a rare commodity, delivered infrequently by ship and hauled up the steep rock by a tramway. Number 1. Aneva Lighthouse. Imagine a lighthouse perched on a treacherous rock, buffeted by fierce winds and surrounded by treacherous waters, known to claim ships as their own. This is the Aneva Lighthouse, located on the small and rocky Sivuchia Rock near Cape Aneva in Sakhalin, Russia, a region notorious for its strong tides and dense sea mists that make navigation a perilous endeavor. Built between June 1937 and October 1939, the Aneva Lighthouse was a feat of engineering and determination. The entire construction had to be supplied by water, under the constant threat of severe weather, making every stage of the building process a battle against the elements. At 31 meters tall, with its lamp shining 40 meters above the ground, this lighthouse was not just a beacon, but a lifeline, designed to guide mariners away from the very dangers that made its construction so challenging. Engineered by Miura Shinobu, a graduate of the Kanagawa Institute of Technology, the Aneva Lighthouse was crafted to endure. Its 9 floors were built on an oval base, blending into the coastal rocks, each level meticulously planned. From diesel engines and batteries in the basement to living quarters capable of housing up to 12 people, every space was maximized for efficiency and survival in extreme conditions. In the 1990s, it was decided to make the Aneva Lighthouse autonomous by re-equipping it to work from a nuclear power source. The radioisotope generators were removed in 2006. The lighthouse has been abandoned ever since. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.